Hey, welcome to my channel. So today I'm going to be starting a series called 7 Days of Summer Braids. Braids are something that I love and I feel like they're so simple, but sometimes I'll have one in my hair and someone will be like, how in the world did you do that? So I thought that I might as well start making YouTube videos to show you guys. I hope you enjoy it. Today I'm doing something super simple. It's just going to be a simple fishtail braid. That sometimes I like to curl the rest of my hair to wear it, or sometimes I'll leave it down, just down and straight, or sometimes I'll put it back in a messy bun or just a loose ponytail, just depending on what the weather's like and where I'm going to be that day. So today, for starters, I just blow dry my hair. I put some product in it and blow dry it just like I normally would. If you have naturally straighter hair or naturally wavy hair, you can just let it air dry, sleep in it wet, and do whatever you feel comfortable with. I just blow dry it because I have naturally curly hair, crazy hair, so it would be super frizzy if I didn't blow dry it. So to start out, you're just going to want some bobby pins, maybe a clear elastic, or just a basic ponytail holder, whatever you feel comfortable with, and obviously a hairbrush. So I'm just going to brush my hair out. And part it wherever you normally part your hair. I have a pretty deep part most days. So to make the braid fuller, I'm just going to kind of keep it where it is. If you part in the middle, I would probably recommend doing a side part, just because I think it looks awkward to have a middle part and then a braid on one random side. If you're doing a braid on each side, then that's another story, but I just think it looks a little bit better if you have a deeper part fit on your heavier side. So for this look, we are going to do it on our heavier side. There are some looks that will do it on our looser or our lighter side, but just for this one, we're doing it on the heavier one because we want the braid to look nice and bulky. And my hair is freshly clean. Like I said, this morning I just shampooed, but I'm a dry shampoo freak, so I am going to put a little bit of dry shampoo in it. My favorite drugstore dry shampoo is Dove. This stuff is amazing. I use it on all my clients for weddings. And I find that sometimes dry shampoo leaves residue. It always leaves residue. That's what dry shampoo is. But with this one, I feel like brunettes can use it as well. And you can't like look at it and see that it's chalky like you can with most. And I'm just going to get this foiling comb, just something like this, to make a triangle in my hair right here. Kind of frizzy. And this is just going to be, like I said, an inverted fishtail braid. So I'm going to part it into two. We have our triangle, here's the part, and then the triangle. So part it into two. And the difference between an inverted braid and a regular braid is all about the direction you go when you switch sides. So we're going to be, how do I explain this? We're going to be going up towards the ceiling. So we're going to take a piece of that from one side, bring it to the other, bring this, and then we're going to start adding. So I always, when I'm doing a braid on my bangs, I always kind of started out the first one, two or three passes, just doing a normal braid, just because it kind of gets me in the groove, gets me going. But now I'm going to start adding, since I already did one pass normal. So I have this, then I'm going to add some from the outside and bring it over. And like I said, since this is going to be an inverted braid, we want it to be kind of sitting on top of the hair versus under the hair. We're going to go under with this one, up towards the ceiling. So I have that, add, under. And with braids, I feel like the messier the better, so don't be too particular about grabbing the same amount of hair each time. Obviously, you don't want it to go from 300 strands of hair to like a super small strand of hair. Kind of keep it in the same general area, but it doesn't have to be exact. And when you're doing fishtails, always make sure you're grabbing from here. Sometimes it's easy to leave a chunk of hair up here out, so you just kind of always want to be looking in the mirror. And I'm sporadically gonna not add hair to this section closest to my face, just because I have super fine baby hairs and I don't want it to be too pulled back. I want it to be a little bit looser and messier. And with this one, the tighter the better. We're obviously gonna pull it out to make it looser, but I'll show you guys how to do that in a second. So just make it super tight to start out with. And then we're just gonna kind of make it a normal fishtail now. Still inverted, but we're gonna quit adding hair to lose that French effect. And right now I'm taking super tiny sections just because I want it to be a little more intricate. So now that we're getting to the end, I'm gonna come to a stopping point. You can leave it like this. I think it's beautiful like this if you wanna put it back in a ponytail, but I like to pull mine out. So what I do to pull it out and make it big and full, kind of a runway look, I like to think of it as, is I just pinch and pull the outsides, and I start at the bottom and just work my way up to the roots. And you can make it as big and loose or as tight as you want it. This might be too big for some people, but just make it your own. That's the fun part about your own hair and your own makeup, is you can kind of do what you want. Find what you like, find what you don't. Sometimes I'll do these big inverted braids and updos that I do for weddings, and the girls see it at first because, like, if it's pulled back you kind of see all the crazy bumps and they're like, oh my gosh, no. I find that everything that looks good in the end kind of looks crazy in the process, so don't freak out, especially if someone's ever doing this to your head. Just let them do what they want to do, and then if you don't like it in the end, tell them. But they probably always have a plan to make it look better than you think. Make sense? So now we're just going to tie it off with an elastic, a clear elastic. Then I'm just going to kind of do a messy bun, however you do your messy buns, or put it in a ponytail. Like I said, make this part your own. So I have my bun, and I'm just going to kind of bobby pin the hair that's falling out. So this is the first day of 7 days of summer braids. I hope it was beneficial for you guys. Like I said, if you didn't want to do the messy bun, you could always leave it down and curl it, straighten it, do whatever you want. If you're going for more of a nighttime look, I would probably curl it or straighten it, but just for the day and out running errands, I just threw it in a bun. So let me know if this was beneficial for you. Also, let me know if there are other braids that you want to see throughout the 7 days. I have about 6 more, and there are so many different options to choose from. I have a list, but let me know if there's something that you want to request. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.
Today I'm showing you how to do these front row braids that I wear all the time. So to start, you're just going to go a little bit back on your part, and then drag your finger down and across to kind of create a rectangle part. And then once you have that rectangle section, you're just going to clip it aside, and we will use that in the end. This section will be covering up crossed over hair in the end, so if you're wondering if your rectangle is big enough, it's better to go on the bigger side rather than the small side. So then you're just going to grab 3 small sections. As you can tell, mine are teeny tiny sections that are also really close to my part line. And then you're just going to begin to do a regular Dutch braid, crossing the outside pieces underneath the middle, and then just incorporating hair to the outside strands as you go along. Once your braid gets to about where the bottom of the rectangle section ends, then you can start taking any amount of hair from underneath the rectangle section. So as you can tell, I'm just grabbing hair from underneath that section that we sectioned off. Wow, I'm saying section a lot, but basically you can take any hair from that section because the hair that we clipped up will be covering that up later. You just want to make sure that the braid, you're angling it in front still, because we do want to keep these braids right in front of our head. And it's always better to keep these braids really tight rather than loose, because you can always loosen up a braid, but it's really hard to loosen a braid when it's already loose. And sometimes that looks good with side braids, but for this style, you want it to be tighter and then loosen it up in the end. So try and keep it as tight as possible as you go throughout this. And then once you get to where I am, you're going to start angling it to the side because we'll be pulling it back later and you don't want to have weird sections popping up. Then to finish this side, we're just going to pull it apart. You can do this as much or as little as you'd like. I'm just pulling on each individual loop till it looks as thick as I would like it to. When you're done pulling it apart, you can let down the hair and just make sure there's no weird loops or anything, and then see what it's going to look like as you pull it back. And yeah, just make sure there's no weird loops or anything before we move on. And then you're just going to do the exact same thing to the other side. When you're done with the other side, you can let that side we sectioned off down, and then you're going to grab another rubber band and pull both braids back and just tie them back. So as you can see, we have the braids in front, but you can't tell that we took sections from underneath the hair. And from there you are basically done. You can pull it up in a pony like I've done in a lot of my Instagrams, but however you like it. I love this hairstyle because it's super easy and really fast, and people always wonder how I do it. But it's super easy, and I hope you guys liked it, and I will see you guys next time.